3, 2, 1. Bam, 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 bam. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Living Color with Matt Woodward. I believe, I'm not really sure what episode this is, maybe 17, 18? Kind of got lost in the fray there. I think it's 17. We'll roll with 17 out there. Good to see you. Good to be back here. It's been a minute since I've done a Living Color show here. Done a show at all, really. I took like a week off or so for the 4th of July weekend, the extended weekend. Took like a nice little vacation up to really a few Colorado towns. Went up to like Frisco, Vail, Aspen, Snowmass Village, and Woody Creek. And I had a great, it was a great little getaway, really, and it was like much needed at this point. And but at the same time, I was kind of, itching to like get back to doing at least a show. And I'm kind of doing a different setup out here. I kind of, I said before that I've wanted to do more shows from the deck, and so here we are. We're doing one sort of from like the corner here. I kind of like with like the, like the chimney right here and all that, It goes up and like the brick, and so I just kind of thought I'd come out here on the deck on the Friday night here. Friday, June or July 10th. Shows where I'm at, June. Yeah, I think the last show I might have done was in late June, really. So I took a good week and a half, really. But a lot has really happened since. I've kind of said it before that, sports are trying to make a return. And some look to be coming back, like the Major League Baseball. That was kind of like a reoccurring topic on the show here. The first few episodes was like they can't, MLB has to find a way to have a season. Like they can't not have a season, and they're gonna have a season, 60 games, not including with a postseason that starts in October and the regular season ends at the end of September. And some players, some big names have opted out, like Buster Posey, he out of the San Francisco Giants, former MVP, I believe, and obviously World Series champion with the San Francisco Giants. Stud catcher, really, and he opted out, and he's among a few, really. And so, but sports are trying to come back. The UFC has a huge fight this weekend, UFC 251, Masvidal versus Usman, which is a huge fight. Then the rest of the card, I'm not really, the most adept at knowing all of the UFC or anything like that, but I've heard the rest of the card is tremendous as well. So I might try to get on some sports betting here. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't sound like a good idea, but I've been meaning to get on it for a while, and I think this weekend might be a good time. And then you see the NBA. Players are starting to, they're making their way to Orlando, or they're already in Orlando, and you're kind of seeing some of the conditions already in the first couple of days. And it's not really conditions because, a few of them have, like Joel Embiid was kind of joking about it, and J.R. Smith, he got his Instagram Live was shut down last night over it. And they were just kind of joking about, like, the food and, the hotels that they're staying in. And the one that J.R. Smith, like the room he's staying in, they weren't even prepared for him to show up, really. And so, it's just kind of like, I wonder, how they're going to manage doing this for 3 months. It's already the first week, and the food, it's not like, it looks like it's just coming in like plastic containers or whatever, but at the same time, you kind of see guys like John Morant, who said today, he's like, I wasn't raised with a silver spoon or whatever, like, and Damari Carroll was another guy, another player who was kind of saying, like, this really isn't, like, as bad as people are making it out to be. And, I'm not really sure what the players are expecting going into it. I wouldn't know what to expect, obviously. And, I think, it's kind of like, how are they going to manage for three months doing this? And that's if they, the team that gets to the finals, that would be about 3 months. But even still, 2 months into this situation is like, man, it's a lot. And then you see also, like the Ivy League, kind of switching gears, was like the first Division I conference to really announce that there's going to be no fall sports at all for fall 2020, canceling, throughout the conference, which is sort of like a wake up call, I guess, or like a sign of things to come. At least that's how some analysts are really viewing it as. And I think, you're seeing like conferences are going into just playing, like interconference schedules, just not playing out of conference. And I think that's a good idea, but I just don't know how they're gonna. I don't know what the college football playoff would look like. How they would. The SEC is obviously gonna have stronger schedules, and better competition, and so I just wonder like how and maybe even the Big Ten too. But even that's not as strong of a conference as, say, the SEC. I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but you're seeing I'm doing this on the deck here, right? And I've said it before, like there's just a lot going on around me right now. Up top over there, we got people on the mountain. You kind of climb this mountain near where I'm at right now. And there's a bunch of people up there. They're all they were making noise a little while ago. I could hear them. And they're having a good time up there. I only see like one right now, but there was like 4 or 5 just a minute ago. I kept like looking up there. And not only that, there's a massive there's the biggest hawk you'll ever see in your damn life. Looks like the Atlanta Hawks mascot out here. Like if you're looking for where they got that representation from, you're looking at it right over here. It's insane, that damn hawk. And it's like, I never really heard the hawk caw or whatever that noise is they just made. It was like, it was something, it was something crazy like that. I don't know what the hell that was, but I'm over here. There's a world happening around me. I'm just trying to keep cool. And then we got Mr. Bird over here. That's a whole other story. Shout out to, Mrs. Bird now that I realized that they have like 4 or 5 birdies or chicklets, whatever they're called. I don't think they're chicklets. I think they're birdies, right? Because the chicken has the chicklets. So birds, kids. The birds' babies would be birdies, right? I don't know. Either way, those damn things are the cutest things you'll ever see. I bought them like a little bowl of food. And I don't think that damn Mrs. Bird has touched that thing once. I'm kind of pissed about it, really, too. I bought a bowl, I bought a nice big bag. Spent about $12, my own hard-earned money. Now, next thing you know, the damn thing just stares at it all day and looks at me like, where's my food? It's like, it's right next to you, you dumb fuck. Anyway, there's a lot happening around me here. I'm trying to maintain focus. But I'm just happy to be back here trying to, just do one of these, really, because it's been a minute. And it felt good to take, that week or so off, but, I don't want to fall into that habit, because I think the more, like I've said before, the more that I do this, I feel like the more beneficial it will be, and because this is ultimately what I'm trying to do, and, I got the little weird setup right now, but, it could potentially get weirder, because we're in a crazy time, and it only looks like it could get crazier. Who knows? Who knows right now? But I just, I'm trying to, it's kind of wild just trying to write down everything that's happened in the last week and a half to be like, all right, what could I go over? What could I, what are the main things that happened, and there was a, kind of a, it was a big issue, really. And that was, I just kind of want to talk about it, briefly, but that was, Deshaun Jackson just posting a quote of Hitler there on social media, and, that is, oof. And then you see, like Steven Jackson kind of coming to his defense. Well, he was coming to his defense, saying that he's speaking the truth and all that. And now he's like saying he could have worded it better. But yeah, I saw that the Eagles just I think they fined him for conduct detrimental to the team today, which would be Friday, July 10th. And they also said, but that's not enough. You have to go to members of the community, and you really gotta put your, words and thoughts into action. You gotta make up for this and mean what you say if you're really sorry. You gotta prove it really. And apparently he's meeting with a 94-year-old Holocaust survivor, and also potentially going to the Holocaust Museum and Museum of African American History, I believe in Washington D.C. Those two museums with Julian Edelman, wide receiver for the Patriots, because he shared not a lengthy post, but a post just kind of saying that he knows Deshaun and he knows that that's not what Deshaun's about, and that they have to have these uncomfortable conversations, and the only way you can have that is you can't have it over social media really. So the only way you can have it is in person, I guess. And yeah, it's just kind of just seeing that man, what the fuck was he thinking, right? God, Deshaun, Jesus, dude. I mean, he's had some questionable in the past. He's had some questionable decisions on the field, even that time Monday Night Football or whatever, where Donovan McNabb threw him that bomb, and then I think it was even the first play of the game, or no, that was in Washington, I believe. Either one, he's had so many. Either way, I think those were both Monday Night Footballs, and then he, when he's running crossing the goal line off a deep post or a deep route, blows by the secondary, and going into that untouched and in the end zone, and just fucking throws the ball. I mean, he was kind of the inventor of that, chucking the ball before he crossed the goal line. He was kind of the creator of that. He was doing that at Cal, and so he's had some questionable decisions on the field, let alone off. And this is, I mean, it's kind of tough to come back from this one. I mean, people are calling for his release, and I mean, what can you say? You hope he learns from it, and I think the way he's going about it, or he's gonna have to go about it. He's gonna have to learn, or he, won't have a career for much longer. I mean, he's already kind of old. He's 33 or 34, so it's he's lucky to still be back in Philly. Really, at this point, I mean, there's a lot younger wide receivers on the free agent market right now, let alone, Sean Jackson. So, it's kind of crazy topic, but it's good to see Julian Edelman, reach out to him and, as a Jewish person, and, kind of try to see where I don't know. I don't really know. It's a wild one. So yeah, that was a little rough, but I'll tell you, someone who did not have a rough week was Patrick Mahomes. Another sports topic, really one of the bigger sports topics of the week, really, and maybe of the year so far, has been this record-breaking contract signed by Patrick Mahomes, or a contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs, 10 years, $450 million, with the potential to reach $503 million. And I believe when you see that amount of money, you're like, holy shit, how can an NFL team, give a contract like that out? $45 million a year? But it's really not that. It's really tied to, I believe it's tied to a percentage of the team's salary cap going forward, which would eventually equate to that amount. And the way I feel they're able to do that is, with different TV rights negotiations coming up, or TV deals coming up between the league and the Players Association. That's only going to drive salary caps up, which is going to increase obviously specifically his amount. But that is unbelievable territory. And the NFL is, notorious for non-guaranteed contracts. Their contracts aren't guaranteed. Only a certain amount of money is usually guaranteed, and it's usually incentivized from there. But when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, man, you do have to just lock him down. You have to be like, he's worth every penny at this point. The guy's he just led us to the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl MVP. He won the MVP. He's not even 3 or 4 years into his career at this point. And so when you have that kind of talent, it's like, yep, you got to do whatever you got to do to lock him up, really. I'm happy for him. I mean, it kind of sucks because, being out here in Colorado, it's like, well, the Broncos might not have a shot for the next 10, 12 years. Because that's the thing. It's a 10-year extension, but he already has 2 more years remaining on his contract now. So it's going to be really 12 years, $450 million with the potential to reach $503 million, which is good for him, man. But it just means the Broncos for the next, dozen years probably won't make playoffs. At least not win the AFC West, and not to say that they're even really close now, but, with a guy like that in the division, he's not going anywhere for a long, long time, especially with a guy like Andy Reid as his head coach, and Eric Bellamy as his offensive coordinator. He's set, obviously, with that amount of money. And with that system and that amount of playmakers around him, because that's kind of the key, and I feel like the Chiefs wanted to load up on the back end of the contract, really, so that they can, continue to put around a great team around him now, in the present, where they still have Travis Kelce and, that defense. And all the weapons they have on offense, it's a track meet, and it's not going away anytime soon for the NFL. That's for damn sure, especially if they lock down a guy like that. So, shout out to Patrick Mahomes, man. He's getting it right now. He's getting that money, no doubt. But, kind of a switch of gears here. There's been some new music being released lately. That's been interesting to me. Was that new Kanye single featuring Travis Scott, Wash Us in the Blood, that I reacted to about a week and a half ago, and it was a decent track. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't groundbreaking by any means, and it really almost wasn't something that we hadn't heard before. It's kind of the style that we've been hearing from Kanye the last few years, except for Jesus is King. He's kind of all over the place sonically. He's been from Yeezus to Life of Pablo to Ye to Jesus is King. It's like he's ran the gamut the last 8 years, 7 years. And you just wonder what direction is he headed just in general, what is... Because now you see he wants to run for president in 2020. And it is just it can't be real, right? He's kind of always had those thoughts or aspirations, I'm going to run for president one day, But, and he's always, he's never been shy to, speak his aspirations, or what he's, trying to do. But, you already see that, he's missed the deadline to file paperwork in, key states, that you would need to win. He doesn't have any, cabinet set up, I don't think, or any, I think it's just Elon Musk and his wife, Kim Kardashian, and, I believe he's running on something called the birthday party or something like that. Or that's what he was. I think that's what he's calling it. Saying that when when they I don't really know what the hell he's talking about. He was saying something like if when we win, it'll be a celebration like a birthday, or something like that. Every day will be like a birthday or something. And it's just like, okay, dude, all right. I just don't know where to go anymore with him. It is unbelievable. Man was one of my biggest, inspirations, and life inspirations at one point. Like, I listen to him every day. And probably has some of my favorite albums of all time. I've said it before. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is probably my favorite album. I went to Coachella 2011 when he headlined it. Graduation, 808s, like, I could go on. Late Registration, College Dropout, all of it. I love all of it. Even Watch the Throne, all of it. Jesus, Life of Pablo. And then it's just about 2014, 2015. Even then with Life of Pablo, like right around there, it's like, okay, it's a great album. Life of Pablo, great album. But you kind of started seeing, he's going off the rails. He's kind of going off the rails 2012, 2013, around the Yeezus period. When he was feeling he was being like boxed in or whatever. He couldn't break the figurative, glass ceiling. And he was saying he's on a different level of artistry than everyone else. But it's just like, you see it now and it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, whew, it's like, like he was such a creative super genius. Like, you never feel that anything he did, and developed Yeezy, the shoe, into like one of the biggest shoes out there. It's like, and now you're almost ashamed to mention his name. And dude, it was like the greatest artist on the planet for a couple years recently, not long ago. And now it's like, man, you wonder if it's, running for president, quote unquote, is for publicity. You're like, is that real? There's no way, right? You see that he dropped his support for President Trump, and it's like, it's gotta be. I know he has new music coming soon. The God's Country, the new album or whatever. I believe that's what's gonna be called. That's what's said on his social media, or what he's announced so far. But what can you take seriously with him anymore? What can you honestly take seriously with him? Is it a product of mental health? Bipolar. That, and being married to one of the biggest celebrities in the world, Kim Kardashian, and having mental health issues, and not really being able to go anywhere in the world without, people wanting to take your picture, or, see what you're doing or where you're at. I bet all that would just weigh on him years ago, but ooh. There's certain times where you see, like, the old Kanye. That's quote unquote, right? I miss the old Kanye, right? You see that still, and then you're like, okay, he's still yay. And then all of a sudden you see him talk about, like, I don't know, just super deep and I don't know. It's almost like nonsensical thought. Some of the shit he says, it's like nonsensical. It's like, what are you, Kanye? What happened? So, I still love him. He's still a massive inspiration for me. But, or might have been, was potentially, but he's still. There's no one that's really been on that level but him. And he's done it through self-confidence, and believing in himself. Maybe almost to a fault, But when you survive, I guess, like an accident like that, when has jaw wired shut in 2003 or 4, whatever it was, And he survived, not wearing a seatbelt or whatever. Of course you're going to have the ego on your shoulder and feel like, God has a plan for you, and, you're here for a reason, and that, God didn't take you or anything. Holy shit, you see that right there? That's what I'm talking about. I tell you, there's, you saw that right there. That's God right there making it sound. I don't know. Something. I'm talking about fucking hawks, people climbing mountains, and all of a sudden I got birds attacking me. Like, what the hell is going on out here? I might have to wrap it up soon. Good Lord. Whew. That was funny. I hope you enjoyed that reaction out there. I think the camera's still wrong. Yep, that's where we're at. That's living color right there, in a nutshell. Those birds are on that tree right there. You scared the shit out of me. You. Yeah, keep chirping at me, damn it. That's funny. That was too good. Yeah. That was good. Wow. So yeah, I'm just kind of going for a little bit longer here, not too much longer. Another story that I saw. It's like, speaking of someone who's kind of going through it right now, is like Will Smith, man, and Jada Pinkett Smith. They're kind of going through it as, it's like a celebrity thing right now, but, just seeing like Will Smith, like, I can't imagine what that dude's going through. Where, Jada pretty much said to the world, like, yeah, I was banging and sleeping and had a relationship with, like, 24-year-old August Alsina or whatever. Like, I didn't even know who the hell that dude was. I wonder if Will Smith even know who the hell that dude was. And all of a sudden he's sleeping with your wife, who you had, like, kids with, and, like, a very famous family with. Whew. And then it plays out in the public, and he's getting, like, clowned all over it, and, people are, like, shitting on him, picking on him, like, ugh, man. And then it kind of came out today, like I said before, today's Friday, kind of came out today that, Jada's show there, the Red Table Talk, where they had, Will and Jada had, like, a conversation about it. They, like, broke it down, and then, Jada didn't call the relationship or she didn't call her relationship with August Alsina a relationship. She called it an entanglement. And it's just like, ooh, even Will Smith was like, what? Entanglement? So it's like, hey, not a great usage of words there, but, it doesn't look good, I know that, they're going to get through it. They kind of joked about it, like bad marriage for life, instead of bad boys for life, bad marriage for life, or whatever, so they kind of joked about it, but, like, you could just see the pain in Will Smith's eyes, man. I can't imagine. Like, he's like, like, giggling and laughing about it, like, haha, like, joking it up and all that with Jada, and it's kind of, like, weird, like, a weird, awkward vibe, You're like, well, they're joking, huh? Okay, all right. I mean, I guess you kind of just have to joke about it, really, but you can just see, like, he's like, this sucks, like, this, I should not be going through this shit, like, this is not what I signed up for. But, yeah, it's like, wow, what can you do, man? You gotta get through it. I mean, they'll figure it out. They got, how can they not, right? How can they not? But I'll tell you someone who, we're not someone. I'll tell there's that damn hawk again. That's what I'm saying, just when I'm getting into the topics, and they have like a little poster perch right over there where it goes, That freaking thing's gonna come swooping in. Watch, we're gonna catch it live on camera. I hope that bird, swooping through was caught on camera there. That was unreal. That was too funny. Uh, but one person who's having a rough time is, you know, um, is Ghislaine Maxwell. Uh, for those who don't know, I'm just gonna do this. She sort of like the best friend, I guess you'd say, of maybe not best friend. That's kind of, I might be putting it a little far, but she was a great friend of Jeffrey Epstein's. Was obviously a notable businessman or whatever, kind of sick fuck, really, obviously, sexual predator, really. But she just was arrested, or not just, recently was arrested. Sorry, I'm trying to delete this stuff here so I can continue going with this. There we go. She was recently arrested in New Hampshire, of all places, which is kind of weird. I saw that. It was, I think it was like Bedford or Bradford, New Hampshire, something like that. I'm not even really sure if there's a Bradford, New Hampshire. There might be. Sorry if you're out there and watching this, Bradford, New Hampshire, but if that's even a place. But yeah, when I saw that, it was just kind of like, wow. Because there was like a recent Netflix documentary about the whole Epstein Island and, who was visiting, who was on the logs, and obviously Elaine, was pictured with so many, powerful people in the world, politicians, including, President Trump and Prince Andrew and Elon Musk. She was pictured with. But Elon kind of came out and was like, I don't know her, I don't have any relationship with her at all. But she's just being seen with picture with everybody. Like Kevin Spacey in like the Buckingham Palace, on the thrones in Buckingham Palace, which was a weird photo from like 2004 on a trip with Bill Clinton. Who that guy, that family, man. Yikes. Ooh, I don't know how how are they still like. I don't think they're held in very well regard, across the public, but I don't know how they're, and it doesn't seem like they make very many public appearances, but wasn't that dude mentioned on the log like 26 times or something like that? Something crazy on the Epstein flight logs, and that dude, there's a lot of people. So that's kind of what I mean. There's a lot of people involved in this. And a big one was also William Barr. His father, who was the Attorney General for the United States right now, his father, William Barr's father, I think Donald Barr, hired Jeffrey Epstein at his first job, or in as in his first prominent position, or as like a teacher or something like that. I'm not sure if that's what it was, but and that's kind of how he got his start in the whole, in his career. And so, it's kind of strange to see that William Barr visited Ghislaine Maxwell the day that she was arrested in when she was brought to New York City, I believe, or extradited to New York City, because that's where she was charged out of, I believe. So it's like there's a lot happening, and there's a lot of people who could potentially be, caught up into this. And it's gonna be very interesting to see, what happens. Is she gonna, mysteriously, end up suicided? Like Epstein himself, or, will she actually give names and information and all that? Because apparently she has tapes or something, or footage herself, or evidence against people. So that is, I don't want to get like conspiratorial or anything like that, but when there's so many dots that connect like that, it's kind of hard to just be like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Yeah. Especially when it involves so many powerful people. And, we all know, like, the government does shady shit all the time. And, it's no surprise, really. But, yeah, it's just kind of like, like, what will this lead to? Will we see something happen? Will we, where does it go? Yeah, that is it's gonna be interesting, like I said. But yeah, it's kind of closing in near like the 40-minute mark. I see I'm a few minutes away. That's usually where I like to kind of cap it around. I've been saying for forever I'm trying to make it longer, and I've done a few recently where it's been like an hour and 20, but that was kind of from like a different setup. It was like more in the living room really, and this is, like I said, this is just kind of the corner of the deck, and I just want to do this even as the sun goes down. Like, the sun's been down for a while, but we're still going. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to, it's nice to just be able to and do this, and it's really nice to see like the some of the response, I think, from some of the videos. I'm trying to figure out how to, I've said it before, like, I'm trying to figure out how to improve it, and make the most out of it. So I'm not just talking to thin air, and not just doing this for no reason. And even still, I would be doing this if I got no views, and even still, some videos pretty much have that. I'm still doing it, but even when I'm seeing like the Run the Jewels reaction video get pretty much basically 500 views in a month or so, and even some other videos just getting even like just 20 views or anything like that was like, it's kind of like progress for me, on YouTube at least. And I don't know how to, I just don't like posting on social media really anymore. I never was really into it, and it just doesn't feel right to be, I don't know. Doesn't feel right to be doing it now, I think, because you don't want to post like dreary, sad shit, right? Like, you don't want you don't want someone to like open up their app, open up the Facebook or Instagram app, and all of a sudden be like, see your post, yeah, my life sucks, I'm not doing shit, I'm not, like nothing's, I see it all the time, like, in a hole or something like that, like, worse than it's ever been. Just something like a vague, depressing post, and I've seen that more than ever lately. And I could fire one of those off myself if I want to, but it's just like, I don't think people want to hear, other people's problems, and they don't want to see it, because it's like everyone's trying to deal with their own shit, but at the same time, it's like, that's kind of like the point of it is, I think, in a certain way, to a certain extent, like if you're doing it every day, it's like, Jesus, dude, like, figure, you got problems, but, I think, I guess once in a while, isn't bad, but at the same time, it's like, how is that gonna get me to where I want to be? Am I gonna have to continue to post like every day in little clips? Maybe I'll just post little clips from now on. Like of the freaking birds over here attacking me and all that. Maybe that'll help out. But I'm just trying to continue doing this and just talk about how I feel and talk about what I want, really, because that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point of why I went to, study broadcast in the first place at Castleton, or study media in general. But, I've said it before, it's kind of hard to, get in, like, not get into media, but, I guess trust media right now, It's like harder than ever, it seems. And even still, it's like, you kind of need a place to get your information, right? You need somewhere to go, but like, it's like they almost have, everybody has their own spin on things. Everybody has their own way of relaying the message. The same message. And it just kind of sucks because it's like, who do you look? Where do you look to for your information? Where are you trying to find it at? And then there's, we're in an overwhelming, age of overwhelming information, where it's like you can see anything you want to see, any opinion you want to see at any time, just with a quick Google search, and it's dangerous, but at the same time, it's like, you can't really censor, everyone's voice, certainly some voices don't deserve to be heard. There's no doubt about that. But you can't censor things. But at the same time, when you see like Facebook, they're starting to get hit hard, really. With ads being pulled, from major companies, and they're losing billions of dollars, in revenue from it. And they're starting to hit them in the pocketbooks. That's the only way you can get the change, right? The only way you can get change is to really affect them in the pocketbook. And you're seeing that also with like the Washington Redskins. I've said it before. I've been saying it for years. I feel like I've been saying this shit since like middle school, honestly. Like when someone told me the Washington Redskins, I was like, "What's their team name again?" The Redskins? What's that? Like as a kid, like what? Red skin? Like red? What's that? And the logo's Native American? What? And then you put two and two together, like and you're like, that's it. It's such a horrible, like, what the fuck were they thinking back? And then if you comment that on social media, again, you'll have some fucking random bozo be like, well, it actually is, honoring the tribe of this, and, Native Americans don't think it's negative, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, dude, would there ever be a team named the Blackskins? Or the Whiteskins? Or the Yellowskins? Would there ever be that? No. So why the fuck would there be a team named the Redskins? Like, who wants that, dude? It's a shit name to begin with. There's nothing really cool about it. Like, Chiefs is cool. Even the Cleveland Indians. Like, I like the Cleveland Indians. I'm a fan. They're not my favorite MLB team, but I don't hate them. Maybe top 5, potentially. I've been to a few Cleveland Indian games before. I've been to Cleveland. I like Cleveland. Great city. But that's kind of a shit name, too. Cleveland Indians. It kind of just is. Kind of a shitty name at this point. I don't think it's nearly as bad, obviously, as the Redskins. That needs to be changed immediately. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And, like, Dan Snyder for all these years. Like 2013, 2014 was like, we'll never change the name. He was so staunch on it. And now all of a sudden you see, FedEx is demanding it. And then Nike, removed all Redskin apparel on their website. And it's like, about time. Like, now they're considering it. Now they're going to. They're going to have to. They're changing it now. You're kind of seeing some names being thrown out there. And one I saw earlier today was the Red Wolves. I kind of like that name. And the design of the uniform looked so dope, though. It was like silver and red, and it kind of still had like the Redskins R that they kind of use as like a secondary or alternate logo, but it was just like shaped sort of like a wolf too. It was really cool. And so if they roll with something like that, I'm all for it. I'm kind of seeing petitions being sent around on the internet to change the name to the Red Wolves, from the Redskins to the Red Wolves. So that would be pretty dope, but I wonder if they would go from, Washington to D.C., something like D.C. Red Wolves, which would be a great name, because for a long time, you do get the confusion, Washington State and, Washington, D.C. You're like, is that Washington State? They have a team? But it's like, no, that's D.C. They just, Washington and, but I think something like Red Wolves, something like that would be great. But it's been past time that they changed the team name. I've been saying it for years. Like, Redskins, we wouldn't have a team named the Blackskins or Whiteskins, so what, like, why Redskins? It makes no sense. But like I said, you got him in the pocket. But only way you can get that change, get change, create change, really, is to hit him in the pocketbook. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm thankful and I'm happy to have done this latest episode. I'm gonna try to do more here coming up within the weekend. I've got a little special something coming for you still. Hopefully here in the next week or two from a nice secret location. But I want to thank you for listening and watching wherever you might be out there. As always, I appreciate you. And like I said, I hope to see you within the next couple of days for another episode of Living Color. But yeah, like I said, thank you once again for listening, watching, wherever you are out there. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. For Living Color, this has been Matt Woodward signing off. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.
Don't stop.